smoke too much ganja, it affects your mind.
Harry's lost it. He's lost it.
Well, it's untenably ludicrous. I mean, here is one of the premier establishment figures in the world trying to make out that there is an establishment plot against him.
Prince Harry trying to blow up his own charity, to hell with those children in Africa, right? And Meghan Markle trying to blow up the royal family once again. The problem is, this time, no one believes her. Lady Colin Campbell, where to begin? Where to begin? I actually want to start by reading you, this extraordinary comment from Meghan Markle to the New York Post about Valentine Lowe and the bullying allegations, but also, come on, the allegations which have now been made by us for well over 5 years. Have we ever seen any type of legal note by Vanity Fair, by The Hollywood Reporter? But this is what Meghan Markle had to say. She said that Lowe is blasting harmful gossip and continues to desperately recycle false, offensive and long discredited allegations in an apparent bid to sell books and resuscitate relevance. These claims, rooted in anonymous, unverifiable sources, from part of a broad and deeply troubling agenda that seeks to dehumanize a woman who has consistently stood up for fairness, dignity and truth. The Duchess has faced years of unfounded attacks masked as journalism and a never-ending smear campaign beginning only once she was affiliated with the institution. Meghan remains undeterred by the noise and firmly focused on her family and work. Lady C, what on earth possessed her to release this statement to the New York Post? Big news! Outspoken is now available as a podcast too. So please do subscribe wherever you get yours, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and make sure you rate and review. I'll take 5 stars, if you may.
Well, she's obviously trying to retrieve the little bit of reputation that she has done, and she's not been very successful. I mean, my sons are friendly with a Canadian, very well-placed Canadian, who actually mixed in the same circles as Meghan. And she says that Meghan was very unpopular in Canada. This was before she met Harry. And that she was known to be a piece of work, and that she was absolutely loathed on the set of Suits, and that she wasn't very popular otherwise either. So, and Meghan used to evidently play the, oh, I'm a star, I'm so much better than you. And she used to play mean girl games with the employees on Suits, because she'd have her cabal of supporters, her makeup people, her stylists, and she'd with them, and then very arrogant and disdainful with the rest of the crew. So none of this is really new. It's, to me, what's amazing is that nobody has bothered to check so far into what she was like before she entered the royal family and how dreadful she was even then.
Oh, you're completely right. I mean, I'm friendly with one of the directors of the movies. Remember, she filmed these quite low-rent movies in between Suits seasons. And he said to me, Lady C, that she was the worst actress he had ever worked with by far. She was absolutely horrible to everyone who she worked with. And by the way, the word bully was used. So you're completely right. This bullying behavior is with her long before she entered the royal family. I guess what I'm so interested in, though, is why now? Why target Valentine Lowe 2 years on? Or no, 4 years on. I think 4 years and 5 months on from the release of his first report in terms of the bullying allegations. And is this part of a new strategy to fight back against the people who she believes has an agenda against her?
No, I think she's a total opportunist. I think she wants to remain in the news. This is a way of keeping herself in the news. I'm not sure that it's anything so much more than that, quite frankly, Dan. I honestly don't think that, she's decided, well, I need to improve my image right now. She's known for some time she needs to improve her image. And I mean, Ted Sarandis has evidently told her that she needs to improve her image, and that she needed to make herself more user-friendly and, less sort of elevated and more relatable. And I think that's all a part of it. But I think it's a bit late in the game now. But also, she is, in an ironic sort of way, she is competing with Harry, because Harry has been accused of being a bully, and because Harry has been accused of racism. She is actually jumping on the bandwagon to say, look, it's not only him, it's me. I also need to have the spotlight on me. So I think if you realize that that's what's also going on, it begins to be more intelligent, because otherwise the whole thing is absolute insanity. Because why now is the question that everybody should be asking. And the answer has to be that it suits her right now to do it. And of course, she's hoping that she will be able to convince some people of her constantly losing circle of admirers. Because remember, she keeps on losing supporters left, right, and centre. What do you think?
Well, I think we really noticed that on her birthday, and it was telling that she decided to release this statement too on her birthday. Very bizarre decision, especially from a PR point of view, by the way, when she's also got the relaunch of Was Never, as you call it, Lady C, which failed to sell out because people are no longer buying into the scarcity strategy. But I thought that was very odd. But maybe she wanted to overshadow the fact that there were so many high-profile snubs on her birthday. I mean, when you think back to 2020, Lady C, even Beyonce was releasing a sort of sycophantic birthday message to Meghan Markle. None of that, not even Serena Williams. What she got were the sort of three friends who followed her script, praising her about love and light from Jamie Kern Lima and Kelly Zivan and what's her name, Robbins, Tracy Robbins. That was it. So I think there's definitely the need to fill the space, but I just think going for Valentine Lowe, who is by all accounts a very credible journalist, Lady C. He's not a flamethrower like you. He's not a flamethrower like me. He didn't actually come at this with any type of personal perspective. I find it totally bizarre.
Yes, but there's also a subtext to all of this that's going on, which I don't think anybody has connected up yet, but I have connected it up. And I'm sure you have connected it, even though you might not have touched upon it yet, which is that Valentine Lowe is perceived in royal correspondence circles as being impeccably connected with the palace. And let us remember that, what's his name? Ian Rawlinson, who is the chairman, I think, at the moment of Centre Barley, who is associated with the Tusk Trust, Prince William's contribution to charity. So the people have missed the point, which is that Sophie Chanduka and Ian Rawlinson have not been criticised for actually anything specific, and they are in situ at the moment. And who has been displaced is Harry, and so there is. I think Meghan and Harry are fighting against the palace and the palace approval of the fact, because William, remember, has a huge problem with Meghan and Harry, in that his wife was accused by her of racism via scabies. And so I think if you begin to see what's going on behind the scenes, that this report that has just come out from the Charity Commission, which ostensibly even-handedly criticizes both sides, but it rarely criticizes both sides for having gone public. But Harry is the one who went public first. Sophie Chanduka simply responded to Harry going public. That's the first thing. And they're aware that people will ultimately cotton on to that. And also, the Charity Commission has made it clear that although there is no evidence of racism, misogyny, etc., it is not their remit to actually examine any of those charges, and therefore they haven't examined them. So Harry is not exonerated. And in the background is the fact that Ian Rawlinson is Prince William's man, and he was appointed to St. Barley the day that Harry stood down. So I think if you begin to look at it in that light, what's really going on behind the scenes, and what Harry and Meghan are aware of the fact that they now need to address. So that's why I think also she has come out punching in this regard, because also Valentine Lowe is regarded as a palace man. And remember, when he made the allegations of the bullying, which came out just before the Oprah interview, Meghan said that it was a palace smear to muzzle her. So do you see where I'm coming from with all of this?
I absolutely do. And I did say on the show yesterday, Lady C, in terms of Meghan's statement, I actually think Valentine Lowe is the straw man. I mean, who she is really attacking here, let's be completely honest about it, is Jason Knauf, and in turn, Prince William. Because, of course, Jason Knauf, via other people, leaked that story, or at least approved Valentine Lowe running that story. We know that could only have been done with Prince William's approval. And then you come to Centre Barley, and yet again, Lady C, you have perfectly connected the dots between those two stories, because William is backing Sophie Chandoka and backing Centre Barley here. Now, he may not be able to say that, but as you say, it's the presence of Aaron Rawlings on the board that makes that abundantly clear. So what we have again, and I find the timing of this pretty extraordinary, is Harry and Meghan effectively criticising the British royal family again, which goes completely against what they promised in this peace summit that they would do. But I guess they just can't help themselves. I mean, Harry's trying to say he's the victim of the establishment. I mean, it's astonishing. He's a Prince of England, for God's sake.
Well, he is one of the archetypal establishment figures. But I'm actually rather entertained by the way all of this is panning out. And I'll tell you why. Because the biter has been bit and the stinger stung. Because Sophie Chandoka has done to Harry and to Meghan what Meghan and Harry did to the royal family. I think that she has, and now I say this as a Jamaican and understanding the ins and outs of the colour question in a way that most people who are not members of a country of colour will understand. Sophie Chandoka played the colour card. Doubtless, she had a genuine belief that Meghan, who was looking down on her because Meghan is brown and she is black. And in the black community and the brown community, there is an awful lot of snaring one way and the other. And I think that she genuinely felt that that was a part of it. But she also will have understood that the reality is by playing the colour card the way she was doing, she was doing a Meghan and a Harry and using colour to further her other more valid interests. Because even if Sophie Chandoka had been white, the same thing would have happened, or if she'd been brown.
Oh, of course.
The
Of
same
course.
thing would have
And
happened.
and
Meghan is simply a snaring, uppity, disdainful cow. And she was swanning around, sort of doing mean girl power plays to show Sophie who has the power. And Sophie understood, which Meghan has understood over the years. If you play the color card, you silence people. And even if you don't end up ultimately having the decision in your favor, in the meantime, you have created such a wave of hostility and put people on the notice that they have to be silent. So she's played the color card brilliantly, but she's done to Meghan and Harry what they have done to the royal family, to the British people, to the British press. And so it's
a taste of your own medicine. But first, you know I never recommend anything unless I truly believe in it. And today I've got something absolutely game-changing for you. Have you ever stopped to think about how crucial comfort is, especially down there? Well, let me tell you, today's Outspoken is proudly sponsored by Sheath Underwear, the revolutionary brand shaking up men's comfort across the globe. And here's what makes it even better. Sheath was founded by a brilliant US Army veteran, Robert Patton, while he was serving in Iraq back in 2007. So that's right, this isn't just an underwear brand. It was designed for the toughest conditions imaginable. Patton was battling relentless heat and discomfort in full combat gear, and he thought there has to be a better way. And there is, because he created it. Let's be honest, traditional underwear just doesn't cut it anymore. Sheath's innovative dual pouch design ensures your comfort all day long, keeping things separate, cool and fresh. Imagine your essentials being comfortably cradled away from unwanted friction and heat. Trust me, it is a genuinely transformative product. I have tested it at the gym, on long days at work, and I'm telling you, once you've experienced Sheath, there simply is no turning back. They're stylish, they're supported, and they deliver unmatched comfort. It's like upgrading from economy to first class, but for your underwear. So right now, I'm offering you a 20% discount. It is exclusive at sheath.com. So 20% off your entire order. All you have to do is use my special promo code Outspoken at checkout. Sheath is the perfect present, by the way, if you're looking for something for your husband, your son, your brother, or hard to buy for mates. But if you are a lady and you end up on the website, you will see there are female versions available too. This is really cool as well. Sheath, did you know, was the first official underwear of the UFC. So you can go to sheath.com or just click on the link below, enter Outspoken on checkout, and then you can thank me later when you're feeling comfortable, confident, and ready to tackle anything your day throws at you. Sheath underwear, redefining comfort one pair at a time. But now, back to the show. But look, ladies, see, I think when we connect these two stories, though, at the very least, what we can say is that the peace deal is over. And let's be honest, it was always a very, very murky peace deal. But Harry and Meghan, neither of them have stick to what they promised at that meeting with Tobin Andre. It's over, isn't it? There is no peace because these two cannot be trusted. They cannot bite their tongue.
I don't think, Dan, that they ever entered into any deal expecting it to last. I really don't. You know, when you speak about the peace deal, I mean, it was like Munich 1938, and you know, it's meaningless.
Yeah, totally.
And
because it was one-sided.
Sorry?
It was one-sided. They weren't prepared to concede a thing.
But also, I'm sure you realize that the palace never for a second thought that they could be relied upon. I mean, you know, that would be like expecting the viper to not bite you once you pushed your
Well,
hand
indeed.
in its
Or to
mouth.
use your analogy, Lady C, to trust Hitler not to invade any further countries. I mean, it was never going to happen. But I still think that Buckingham Palace were naive to be drawn into the PR spectacle of it. But look, Centre Bali's fighting back, though. I love this. So reports today, Lady C, that Prince Harry could actually face further action over these claims of bullying and misogyny. As you say, this ain't over. And then Centre Bali clarifying on X that actually the Charity Commission is explicitly clear that it is not the Commission's responsibility to adjudicate or mediate internal disputes. This would include individual allegations of bullying, harassment, misogyny, and misogynoir. So Harry actually could still face these very, very contentious claims about him. Rebecca English reporting in the Mail today that he is making raging late night calls over the Centre Bali charity, ranting of a hostile takeover of his life's work. And Rebecca English told he is utterly devastated, spending hours on the phone from California to supporters late into the night. A source close to the prince telling her there was no way in hell he would ever work with Centre Bali again, or at least not while Sophie Chanjoka and her new stool pigeons were in place. What's more, while the prince is weighing up his options over what to do next, they said if he were to set up a charity again, he would categorically not do it under the jurisdiction of the Charity Commission for England and Wales, which he has no faith in, and would go as far to say that he believes isn't fit for purpose. As she says, the Commission, let's remind ourselves, is the government's independent regulatory body, and as we all know, after his decisive loss in the Court of Appeal over his UK security arrangements earlier this year, what he thinks of such official bodies. Another establishment stitch-up, no doubt. So, I mean, Lady C, look, this is just more evidence, isn't it? Prince Harry has lost his mind. He genuinely believes that the entire establishment is working against him. He genuinely believes they want him dead. It's really, really quite worrying where his mind is at.
Smoke too much ganja, it affects your mind.
Harry's lost it. He's lost it.
Well, it's untenably ludicrous. I mean, here is one of the premier establishment figures in the world trying to make out that there is an establishment plot against him. And let's remember what the basis of that plot was, that he had married a woman of color who was better at being royal than the royals themselves. So that's where the starting point was. Let's not forget that, especially in terms of Sophie Chandoka's claims of racism emanating from Harry and Meghan. Because Sophie Chandoka, I know what she's saying. Because being Jamaican, I have seen brown women snare at black women because their ancestors didn't, quote unquote, improve their color, which is a very black thing that used to be prevalent. And so Sophie Chandoka knows that there is a snobbish element to this. And so there's all of that going on behind this. But ultimately, Harry is in the untenable position of trying to argue that he, who is a premier establishment figure, is being traduced by the establishment unfairly. Now, I actually do think that Sophie Chandoka has played the race card very pragmatically. And I really think that putting in the light of everything that has happened, all of it would have happened irrespective of her color. But as I said a bit earlier, I'm sure that she's picked up the fact that Meghan has disdain for her because Meghan's brown and she's black. And let's remember, Meghan also spent most of her life passing for white, and Meghan has eradicated all signs of her sub-Saharan heritage, you know, got her nose pinched in, straightens her hair, etc., etc. And when she browns up the face, she makes sure that she doesn't brown up the neck or the shoulders or the hands, and then she makes sure she puts the hands on the neck. And always your hands are darker than your face, except with Meghan, where the face is infinitely darker. So she's still giving the message that she's really much whiter than people think she is. And let's also not forget that one of Meghan's big complaints against the British press was that nobody thought I was black until they said it. And I'm not black. I'm not black. Look at me. I'm nearly white. I'm actually mixed race. I mean, she made such a big deal about the press saying that she was black in Britain, when in fact what they were trying to do was actually be inclusive, and they were trying to welcome her as a woman of color. So that I think the whole thing is an absolute mess, but I think it's a mess that if ever anybody deserved to be dropped in it, it's Harry and Meghan. And I'm delighted that it has happened. And it could only have happened with a strong, well-educated, confident black woman. And Harry, may I point out, should be looking at Sophie Chandoka and thinking to himself, why did I marry that uppity brown girl when I could have married a fabulous black woman who would actually have been a credit to me?
Yes.
I think he should be doing that.
What might have been, what might have been. And I mean, it's been a disastrous week for them, Lady C, on so many fronts. But I do just want to find out from you what's really going on with Was Never, because of course, Meghan decided to use her birthday. I mean, do you remember last time she used Princess Diana's birthday? This time she launched her birthday, was expecting another sellout because she posted this video.
Here we go.
But of course, Lady C, this whole scarcity strategy and, oh, we made so much for you, it was only going to work for so long.
Well, Dan, the reality is she's caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, because if we have all cottoned on to the fact and vociferously made the public aware of the marketing technique of you do so few items of a product that it has to sell out. So if she had not increased the numbers, she would have been accused of, oh, here she goes again, cynically doing this marketing strategy. So she, sorry. So she had to increase the numbers to avoid that. But by increasing the numbers, and I'm pretty sure it's only marginal, she finds herself not sold out and in no danger of being sold out, because there is no interest in the product. And there's not going to be interest in the product, because people like Meghan or Gwyneth Paltrow or Martha Stewart, they are selling the idea of a dream. And you cannot sell the idea of a dream when you are a nightmare. And Meghan has shown herself to be a nightmare. And I think my understanding is she's pretty desperate at the moment, because nothing that she's done is working. And of course, let's not forget, the Netflix negotiations are still going on, and she has a limited support from Ted Sarandis, but she doesn't have support across the board, literally the board of directors. And if they do not renew on some niggardly basis, because it's going to be a niggardly basis, it's going to be mortifying for her, and it's going to actually shine a light on her total failure. So she is now, it's really stuck between a rock and a hard place. And no matter what she does, if she has increased the volume of the product, which she obviously has, and it doesn't sell out, that's condemning her. And if she had sold out too quickly, that would have condemned her. So do you see, Meghan has, and I've been saying it for years, Meghan is so manipulative that she keeps on outmaneuvering herself because she's just not straight. She just doesn't come from a firm basis, and she's not straight. She's convoluted, and ultimately it doesn't work. And ultimately that's why people have actually lost respect for her. And let's remember, that's what, to a large extent, all of this is about, because the public have lost respect for her. And they no longer trust her, they no longer like her. And she's like Sisyphus. She's trying to push the ball of popularity up the mountainside. And I'm afraid she's never going to reach the top of the mountain.
And of course, if you do want first access to the Royal Uncancelled After Show, every single weekday here on Outspoken, please sign up to my Substack, www.outspoken.live. Go for the monthly paid subscription. You get first access, either live or on demand, with no advertising whatsoever. That's www.outspoken.live. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.